Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the topic self-induction. What is meant by self-induction? When a change in current flows through a coil, the magnetic flux linked with the coil will also change, and an opposing EMF will be formed in the coil, and that EMF is called self-induced EMF, and the phenomenon is called self-induction. So think like this. I'll give you an example. Suppose we just connect a solenoid to a bulb with the help of a battery and a key. So this is our bulb, this is solenoid, this is the battery, and this is key. When the key is closed, what will happen to the bulb? Normally you say bulb glows. So in the usual sense, when solenoid is not connected, bulb glows to full brightness all of a sudden. But here a solenoid is connected. Then what will happen? Let us see. When we switch this on, the current increases through the solenoid. As the current increases through the solenoid, there will be a change in the magnetic flux linked with the solenoid. That means magnetic flux linked with the solenoid will increase. As a result, solenoid will produce an induced EMF. That induced EMF is called self-induced EMF, and the phenomenon is called self-induction. So let us see what happens to this induced EMF. According to Lenz's rule, this induced EMF will try to oppose the growth of the current. That is, as per this figure, the current flows in this direction. Induced current will form in the solenoid, and as a result, it will oppose this current. So self-induced current will be formed by the solenoid will be in this direction. This will be lesser than the applied current, but the induced current will oppose the applied current. As a result, what will happen? As a result, less current will flow through the bulb and bulb glows dimmer. So cell has to do extra work to increase the current. That extra work done by the cell is converted into energy, and that will oppose this induced EMF, and finally when a steady state is reached, the bulb will glow with normal brightness. So you can view like this. Initially the bulb glows dimmer, and slowly it will come to maximum brightness. Now, as I told, in the steady state there is no change in the magnetic flux and no induced current is formed. Steady state meaning the current in the circuit remains constant. That is called steady state. At that time, no change in the magnetic flux will take place and no induced current will be formed. Now, what happens when we switch off? When we switch off, the current in the circuit will decrease. When we switch off, the current in the circuit will decrease. As a result, magnetic flux linked with the solenoid also decrease. And when magnetic flux decreases, again induced current will be formed. But according to Lenz's rule, this induced current will oppose the decrease in the current. That means induced current will flow in the same direction, assisting the applied current. Okay, initially I told when the switch is closed, induced current opposes the applied current. But when the switch is open, the magnetic flux decreases and the induced current assists the applied current. That means the current in the circuit will decrease. So instead of switching off, the bulb will glow again with more brightness, then only it comes to off position. Okay, so we can define self-induction like this. When a changing current flows through the coil, the magnetic flux linked with the coil will change and an opposing EMF will form. This EMF is called self-induced EMF or back EMF, and the phenomenon is called self-induction. And remember one thing, the self-induction, the self-inductance, it opposes the growth or decay of the current in the circuit. If the current is growing, the self-inductance will oppose the growth of the current. And if the current is decaying, the self-induced EMF will oppose the decay of the current. Okay. Now let us come back to the equations. So here it is written, the induced EMF opposes the growth or decay of the current in the coil and hence delays the current to acquire the maximum value. That is why I told bulb initially glows dimmer and slowly it achieves maximum brightness. Now see the third point. Self-induction is also called inertia of electricity as it opposes the growth or decay of the current. So another name for self-induction is inertia of electricity. Now self-inductance. Self-inductance is the coefficient of self-induction. Sometimes when they ask you to define self-inductance, students will write self-induction. Remember, self-induction is the phenomenon, self-inductance is the coefficient. So magnetic flux directly proportional to current. So flux equal to L into I, where L is the self-inductance. Now if I is equal to 1, you can write L is equal to 5. So from this we can define self-inductance as the magnetic flux linked with the coil when a unit current flows through it. This definition is made from this equation. If I is equal to 1, L is equal to 5. So self-inductance is the flux linked with the coil when a unit current flows through it. Okay. Now let us see one more definition for self-inductance. That is based on the induced EMF. We studied already according to Lenz's rule, E is equal to minus d phi by dt. E is the induced EMF. And just now we studied phi equal to L into I. So when I substitute L into I here, instead of phi, the equation becomes E is equal to minus L into di by dt. So that is the equation relating induced EMF and rate of change of current. E is equal to minus L into di by dt. It is the equation relating induced EMF with the rate of change of current. Now, in this equation, imagine if di by dt is equal to 1, then you can say E is equal to minus L. When I take only the numerical value, I can omit the negative sign, so E is equal to L. So if di by dt is equal to 1, E is equal to L. From this expression, you can define self-inductance. Self-inductance is defined as the induced EMF set up in the coil through which the rate of change of current, that means di by dt, rate of change of current is unity. Induced EMF is defined as, self-inductance is defined as the EMF induced in the circuit through which the rate of change of current is unity. Okay. SI unit of self-inductance is Henry. And the self-inductance is said to be 1 Henry when 1 ampere of current in a coil links the magnetic flux of 1 Weber. Now, we are going to derive the expression for the self-inductance of a long solenoid. This is the figure of a solenoid having total number of turns capital N, and the small letter n is the number of turns per unit length. Okay, so remember those two letters. Capital N stands for total number of turns of the solenoid. Small letter n stands for number of turns per unit length. That means small letter n equal to capital N divided by L. Capital N divided by L. Okay, so here there is a solenoid having capital N number of turns and I is the current flowing through it. I take one turn. We already know the magnetic flux due to the solenoid is B is equal to mu 0 Ni, where small n is capital N by L. Now we are taking one turn and we are going to find the magnetic flux linked across one turn of the coil. Our equation is phi is equal to B into A. Phi is equal to B into A. And what is B? The first equation says it is mu 0 Ni. So instead of B I will put mu 0 Ni. So mu 0 Ni into A. And I told you small n is equal to capital N divided by L. So instead of small n I can write capital N divided by L. So I got the equation like this. Now, what is the magnetic flux linked across n turns of the solenoid? Just multiply the above equation with n. So what will happen? N into n becomes n square. So phi is equal to mu 0 n square LA by IA by L. Phi is equal to mu 0 n square IA divided by L. We studied one more equation, phi is equal to L into I. So instead of phi here, you can substitute Li. So I and I will be cancelled and you will get L is equal to mu 0 n square A by L, which is equal to mu 0 n square AL. Okay. So here what I did is Li is equal to mu 0 n square A I by L, and I get cancelled and you will get L as mu 0 n square A by L. So from this expression, you already know capital N is equal to small n into L. So what I did is, instead of capital N square, I put small n square into L square. So that L square and L get cancelled and finally you got mu 0 n square AL. So what you have to keep in mind is, if capital N is there, if capital N is coming in the equation, then L will come in the denominator. If small letter n is coming in the equation, then L will be on the numerator. That is the expression. Okay. Now what happens if we introduce an iron core here? This solenoid is actually empty. There is nothing placed inside the solenoid. What else if we place an iron core like this inside the solenoid? The iron core will also get magnetized. As a result, the self-inductance value will increase. So when iron core is introduced, this equation will change like this. L equal to mu 0 mu r n square a by L, or it will be mu 0 mu r n square a L. The equation will be like this. So the original equation got multiplied with mu r, where mu r is the relative permeability of the iron core. Mu r is the relative permeability of the iron core. So the self inductance will increase. Okay. Now let us see what are the factors which affect self inductance. We know the equation L is equal to mu 0 mu r n square a by L. So the first factor is self inductance directly proportional to the number of turns, n square. The second factor, self inductance directly proportional to the area of the solenoid. And third factor, the self inductance is directly proportional to the relative permeability of the core which is placed inside the solenoid. And the length of the solenoid doesn't matter here, because in the equation L is coming in the denominator. But if I write another equation with small n, then L will come in the numerator. So L is actually doesn't matter. The number of turns and the number of turns per unit length matters. Therefore, we can write L proportional to capital N square, or it is proportional to small n square. But never think any relationship with lengths. Okay, so that's all about self-inductance. Thank you.